If they do that, the Cougs will be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Off the window, no. Roberts tried to get it. Shed for the win. Got it.
Just with 14 points, but he just looked, the way that he dominated the game was in controlling the pace and making smart decision after decision.
Call the 5 slammer down.
Go to pizza spot before or after.
The dream is alive for Houston. Go Coogs. Let's go.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review. With me right now is Dunlap, and joining us after postgame from Coach Fritz will be Yanez from TDECU Stadium, then as well as Bryce Beall will join us also.
Hold on, didn't they change the name to Space City Stadium? Is it official now, right?
Oh, it's my fault. That's my fault.
Yeah,
you are correct, brother. Yeah,
I'm from the world. Space City Nuke. I like that Space City Stadium.
Yeah, say that. Well, that's a positive because we're going to talk on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family, about another shutout. The Cougs lost 20-0 to Iowa State. Let me get this out the way real quick. I'm curious because at the announced attendance, let me see what it was. It was announced at 25,138. It wasn't that many folks there. But anyhow, 20-0, 3-0 at halftime. The offense stunk. Okay. It struggled.
That's being nice. But
honestly, up until that awful throw by Donovan when he missed the tight end who was wide open, Malik Carr, wide open in the middle of the field, and the underthrew, the other receiver got picked off. It was 13-0.
13-0.
If they'd have scored right there, touchdown,
one possession game.
I'm like, oh man, as bad as the offense looked, it could be 13-7. Well, nope. And then Iowa State said, thank you very much. And then boom, 7-yard touchdown run, and that was it. What are your thoughts on what you saw, man?
Man, tough. Well, I mean, I feel for the defense because, like you said, they fought tooth and nail all game just to keep it close, keep it in them, coming up with some key stops, fighting. Fourth quarter, fighting, one possession, get the ball back, they drive. And so I feel for the defense. They played as hard as they could play to keep the game as close as they could keep it. And then after that last interception, it's just like back broke. I mean, gave up the big run, game over. But overall, like you said, the offense was ass. Like we say nowadays, it was ass.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. And I'm almost to the point, like with some of my comments, I'm ready to see either Zion full-time, Zion, or Uwe. It's time to see what they got now because of it. It's bad. I mean, the only bright spot really was Stacey Sneed. I mean, I almost want to see him get 25 carries, 20 carries. He's so explosive, making plays. Just get him the ball. I mean, play calling still was suspect, but it's like the quarterback play was. It's almost like the offense felt like they didn't have a chance to move the ball. It was bad.
And the play calling was so conservative.
Yes.
Rotated between
in the first half. It was crazy. 40 seconds, 3 timeouts. Just, what?
And that, end of the second quarter, that conservative decision there to take a knee with 3 timeouts. But Zion, Chris, is not he's not accurate.
He's not a passer. That's why I said Uwe. That's why I said I went Uwe somebody.
So, Donovan Smith was 8 for 12 for 71 yards. But we got to say this too. As conservative as the offense was, they still shot themselves in the foot in the first half with penalties.
Yeah, they did.
The penalty on Stephon Johnson was a block in the back. Negated a big quarterback run by Chris. So again, they're not good enough to overcome their mistakes. They had 7 penalties tonight, 4 in the first 20 minutes of the game for almost 50 yards. So those things add up. Stephon had a pass. Donovan threw it right to him. Stephon tried to make a play, fumble. Little things like that add up. Up until the interception by Donovan, he wasn't great, obviously, but the play calling was so conservative. A lot of handing off the ball and rushes and QB runs, designed QB runs.
Yeah.
That pass to Stephon, and he dropped it. That's not Donovan's fault. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I at the same time, I kind of feel like you said it was so conservative. Open it up and just let him throw it. Literally, because you could tell when there was some open man, he's able to hit him, but it's just so inconsistent. That's the thing. But like you saying, the game was so close. All you needed was just one explosive play to actually get in the end zone. So I actually think if no, I don't even want to say that. Just looking at the time of possession, it was defense was on the time 34 minutes and 55 seconds. Offense only spent 25 minutes on the field. Barely had over 200 total yards, 241. Offense was just bad. Stacey Snead was the highlight. Couple throws here and there. Tight ends made some throws. It was just inconsistent penalties, just different things. The Coogs beat the Coogs, but it was bad to watch, man. It was tough to watch.
The Cougs had more penalty yards, 77, than passing yards, 72. That's a problem. It all adds up, and we're all fans are frustrated. Thank you everybody for chiming in and on YouTube and X, Twitter, whatever your preference. But they're tossing out different comments. E.I. Crab says the O-line stinks. He also says Coach Fritz said this has been the worst offense he's ever had. And he said wide receiver running wrong routes. So those are issues. But then we got this comment. Penalties from Mr. Big Texco. Penalties that is on the coaches. I mean, there are issues everywhere. And Ronald Brown is just, the coaches are playing to lose. No, this is not a very good team. But the penalties are an issue. The play calling is an issue. The turnovers is an issue. Dan, you know what it tells me? This is a bad team. They're struggling.
Bad team. I definitely don't think they're playing to lose, but one could make an argument that they aren't playing to win. One could make a good argument they aren't playing to win. Like you said, the conservativeness, 40 seconds, 3 timeouts. You don't at least try to go move to get a field goal. Just at least try. No, you take a knee. And then all game is just trying. It seems like just try not to turn over. Try not to do just try not to do something bad.
Yeah.
And so I mean, at this point, I'm just ready to see any quarterback, anybody that could give a spark, could throw the ball, they could do anything. I can't just put the one finger on one area. I just got to give it the old total offense, because there was times the quarterback had time. There was the times the O-line gave running backs time to run. So it was just different things at different moments. But hats off to the defense. I mean, I gotta give them the credit that they deserve. They kept the offense, kept Houston in it all the way into the fourth quarter, man. They fought.
And this as well, Justin, bring this up. They're at the 39. Instead of going for a field goal, they decide to punt. And the punt right into the end zone.
Right.
I mean, just hell, go for it or go for a field goal. Something. I mean, that's another punt. And this is the issue that really baffles me, especially on college. Why don't punters within the 40 just angle the ball, kick it out of bounds? Why are you just kicking it straight down the field, basically into the end zone? Just kick it out of bounds. Pin them deep with the kick going out of bounds with your punt. That's an issue. And folks are asking about Man Jack. He was a late scratch. Hey, if he goes into the portal, that's his decision. Good luck to him. This team is not. Joseph Man Jack, he's a piece. but there'll be better players than him on the team next year. You know, in future rosters. No shade to him. But if he wants to get a better chance somewhere else, I'm not mad at him. I don't blame him for that. But I'm not going to be sad if he decides going to the portal. You know, hey, there's a lot of other issues on this team than Joseph Manjack absence. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with what you said. I think that it was definitely more than just Joseph. He definitely could have helped. He's sure-handed. He's a good player, consistent player. He would have made some of those catches and probably would have fumbled and made some plays. So I definitely don't want to undermine that and act like he wouldn't have. Like you said, he's a good piece, but for whatever case may be, he was a late scratch, like the broadcast said. We're just looking at what they had. I mean, Stacey Sneed, he got started the game off with a big run. And still just unable to sustain drives. I mean, that's been the name of this year so far. I mean, like they haven't gotten the end zone. The OC has to be accountable. I want to hear from him. I mean, he really hasn't done much, even with what he has. I mean, you can make better play calls, more quick passing game, your screens, run. Like there's a lot of things that you can do or just try to do or try to. I know it all execution, but this just offensively, man, it was bad. It was. I just keep saying that, but it was bad. Zion, he can run the ball. I definitely like his explosiveness and his elusiveness running the football, but I don't know if he actually made a pass, an accurate pass downfield, but he I think Becton caught it out of bounds. And
Mhm.
so I would like to see him just open up the offense a little bit more. Just give the players chances to make plays. They turn it over or what, but just all the deacon and dunking and seemingly not trying to win is tough to watch.
They opened it up in the fourth quarter when it was too late. I mean, you know, but the OC, I don't know if he's talked to the media. I don't believe he has this year. But I'm trying to, because we got comments come, you know, hot and heavy. And Ronald Brown, it's clear you're not a Coach Fritz fan. That's fine. But saying brought in the wrong coach, not even close. Not even close. Like you can say wrong OC, won't get an argument, you know, from probably anybody. Me, Dayon, Andy, anybody. But Willie Fritz is the right man. He's just got a lot to clean up. But I am, again, this is like the fourth time I've said it because I've missed one show. The penalties are an issue and a concern. At 7 today, they're averaging like 5 or 6 a game. That's too many on a team that lacks talent. They're not good enough to overcome all these mistakes, the penalties, the turnovers. Going to bring in UH alum, running back, the man to shed his insight on what he saw, Mr. Bryce Beall. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Made it back from the worst show I've probably seen in 10 years as a Cougar fan.
It was bad. It was that
That's a
bad.
lot.
It was that bad. It really was. What did you see offensively from their perspective? Like what did you see?
I saw what everybody saw. Absolutely nothing. I saw nothing positive besides the running back.
That's it.
He was solid. He was solid, but everything else.
But Bryce, he only had 10 carries. That's not enough.
That gets to my next point.
Yeah,
I don't know what Coach Fritz got to do. He has to bring Robbie in and say, listen, something has to shake. Either you find a way to adapt to the players we have now and make the best of this, or I got to find a different direction. I know you don't bring in the guy 1 year and make that, but me being a coach as well, you understand you got to do what these kids does well. And I don't think he has found any identity at all. And today we was running the ball well, and we just would not. We got away from. We would not sustain. We kept running the quarterback. We kept having built-in quarterback runs, which I'm fine with if Donovan is your best guy with your legs. But see, I obviously had it going, so I don't understand why we wasn't finding different ways to get him on the edge, get him this. We just looked like we was not prepared at all, and it's one of the worst offense, if not the worst offense I've seen U of H had in over a decade. And I'm not quite off the Donovan bandwagon, but he's making it hard to come over here and defend him every week because my goodness, the last interception, the guy had him by 2 steps. He had another guy wide open.
Right.
He just has no confidence. The team has no confidence, and it goes back to what I said last week. When you study, when you don't put that confidence in the guys, they don't believe. It's like they're hoping somebody makes a play instead of I'm expecting to make a play, and that just feeds out through the whole offense. Coach Fritz has no confidence in offense. We get the ball, we're in the plus territory on the field. When you haven't scored in 6 quarters, you have to go for it. Sometimes you have to say, "Hey, what do you have to lose?" Literally, what do you have to lose? Your defense is playing lights out. At some point, you're sending a bad message to the group that I know the offense is bad, and this is how bad it is that I don't even want to go for it, even though we're in our plus 39 going in. I still don't want to go for it because I don't trust them guys at all. And I think that has trickled down into the offense, and it's going to see the same thing again next week. If they don't find a way to get confidence, it ain't even about X and O's at this point. It's the lack of confidence they have in this offense, and it is tough to watch it as a fan. It is tough to sell, and it's going to get to a point, if I'm an offensive recruit, I don't want to go play for an offense that looks like that. I'm going to say, hey, I know they're rebuilding, but I see nothing in that offense that says, okay, I can see what they're trying to do. It's like it's completely lost. The scheme from top to bottom is just not well right now, and it's frustrating, man. I'm frustrated.
And the only player that played with confidence was Sneed from the very first carry. Very first carry, from seeing the field, seeing the holes, the cutbacks, and like, why don't he have 20 carries, 25? That's your only explosive player tonight. Feed him. I only get you want to get everybody some carries, but you got somebody who's rolling and seeing it like that. You got to get him the ball even more. That like right before you got on, that's basically the only thing that was good was Stacey Sneed tonight offensively.
Yes.
Defensively, I feel for him. I mean, hats off to them guys.
And I saw Joseph, who's been covering U of H for a while. I remember Joseph. He posted a thing stating how Coach Fritz said that some players wear a wristband that helps them what to do on certain plays, but they still execute it. That's on coaching. If you got to have players wearing wristband to tell them what exactly they're doing, you need to simplify the scheme in a way where they are playing fast and they're playing confidence. I don't blame players at all for they not knowing what to do. That's you prepare weekly. You drill the same plays. You have a script. You script out the exact same plays, practice over and over, so they know what they're doing. They can play fast. That is, man. Like, I'm frustrated. Like that's hard to watch. It is very hard to watch.
So, in your opinion, what changed? Your first thing needs to be fixed. Your first change. What is it, Bryce?
If I'm Coach Fritz, I'm going in. I'm saying I'm looking at what do we do well. Period. What do we do well, and how are we going to change this? Well, how we're going to change this, we're going to simplify this scheme. Obviously, the players are not getting the scheme. And to be honest, I'm not even understanding the scheme. Like, it's in 1 week we're doing something that, like today, it was all bubble screens with counter action up front. So basically, it's like they gave the quarterback a RPO. Either he was going to throw the bubble or he's going to run they had power and counter game coming behind it. But my thing is Donovan a running quarterback? If that's your scheme, he's not the guy to run it with. Then you have a guy behind him who runs the ball better than him. So if that is what you want to do, if you want to be a quarterback run RPO type of team, then you got to put your best guys in that situation to do it. I wasn't all for benching Donovan, but if from what I've seen today, the run game wise, if that's why they want to run it, you have to go with the other option. If not, you got to find ways to spread the field and attack the zone. What Iowa State ran as a 3 high. They really, Iowa State brought 3 high to college football. 3 high was built to stop RPO teams, and that's what we get to. We ran RPOs. They built the 3 high to put an extra safety in the middle and guys on perimeter so you can stop the RPO game from the run game. And Iowa State everybody knows for the last 8 or 9 years really was but really brought 3 high popular to college football. And they put on a clinic with that today. And I think you have to simplify and figure out, okay, if you are going to be this type of team, what quarterback gives me the best option to run this offense? And you have to do it fast because, to be honest, you're going to lose players, even on the defense side, if you don't figure out. Because it's frustrating when you're playing lights out and you give yourself a chance to win, and you look up, it's 3-0 half, and we're last 6 quarters we ain't scored a point. So I know once we threw that last interception, I'm telling you, if I was in Vegas, I would bet I would put everything I got. A touchdown's gonna happen. They're gonna break them right now because they spear was broken. They just kept on tagging and kept on tagging. And finally, once they threw that pick, I just knew something was gonna happen big the next possession.
But Bryce, let me ask you this: before that INT, it was 13-0. The Cougs opened up the offense, for this year's team, a little bit more passes, etc. Did you think before that pick? Did you think to yourself, man, if they score this touchdown, they're in this game? Did you think that?
I was thinking, listen, we score right here, as well as our defense is going to be playing. Their spirit's going to be up. They really hadn't shown anything how they was really moving the ball on us, and I thought we'd have a chance. And that play he threw the pick, he had plenty of time.
Yep.
O-line stud in there. He had plenty of time. I really think we just have no continuity on the offense and the passing game. It is hard if you think about it. And I hate bringing it up. Even before I got there, from the Kevin Cobb days until now, I've never seen a passing U of H team so bad. Like this is. I mean. And I'm a fan of French. Like I told you, I think the guy is a great guy. He's going to really build it. But like I said last week, for the type of school, the type of passing, the type of tradition we've had here, I didn't think it was the right fit. And I don't think now I'm starting to question. I don't want to be like a typical fan, but I understand it's going to be bumps and bruises. But this is middle school football. Like this is basics. Like mistakes we're making out there, and the play he has no rhythm as a play caller, and I'm as a coach I hear it all the time from the fans. Oh, Friday coach, you know what he's doing? I'm sitting here watching the game thinking we have no rhyme or reason why we do anything. Usually you do something to set up something else later on.
Right.
You think a couple plays ahead of time, like okay, I'm gonna run this bubble screen because then eventually I'm gonna do what we call a strike off of it. We're going to fake bubble and get some down the seam. It's no rhyme reason anything we're doing. We just call it plays and let's hope this one breaks. And she got it going on. He got a couple plays today, but we'll come back. No, and we don't come back to him. Like you said, this should be the game. He had 25 to 30 carries. He was the only positive offensive player we had on the field, and we did not. We gave him 10 carries, and that tells you everything about a play caller.
And on the pick, Malik Carr was wide open.
Wide open.
Middle of the field, wide open. And Donovan was, like, from the snap, locked in to the right side of the field. I think the pass was intended for Stacey Sneed, but he was just locked into the right side. Did not go through progression. Because Malik Carr was wide open. Just turn your head a little bit. And there you see teammate, red, open. Oh, let me get it to him. So, that was frustrating. And, watching it, I was like, damn, as bad as they've had, as much as they suck, they scored a touchdown here. They got a chance.
Yes.
And then that pick, I was like, damn. I was deflated. So my defense was like, man, this is trash, man. And Donovan was frustrated at, throwing the pick, whatever. I'm glad he was frustrated. Whatever. It's a bad throw, bad read. But your thoughts on, because young Kris is not a passer. He's a runner. If you want some passing, do you think they should go to Uwe Ale as a passing option at quarterback?
I think you have to. Kris, even when they put him in, it's like they tell him one read, and then if your first read down there, take off. And And if teams, like good teams like Iowa State, they know when you come in the game, if they take your first read away, the only thing you have left to take off, they're just going to spy you every time. They're going to run a too high behind it and quarterback spy you. And what are you going to do then? So I don't think, Chris, I don't think he's the option. I think you're going to have to go to now. How good is he? Nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Is it time to find out?
But to be honest, when you go 8 quarters that's scoring a touchdown, it's nowhere to go but up.
You only go up.
It's only go up. He will be coming to a situation where he has no pressure because the bar is 0 points.
Oh, low. Yeah.
So
I was just gonna say before we continue, let's let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by Coogston. Thank you, Coogston, for being a sponsor on Let's Race Coogs. The Coogston tailgate is the location in the blue lot, 16D on game days. All are welcome to enjoy food, drinks, and music with the Coogston family. Follow them at Coogston for tailgate details. And also, special thank you to Star Pizza, Houston's destination for hot pizza delivery since 1976. Eater Houston says it's one of the top-rated pizza spots in Houston. October is National Pizza Month, so make sure you go over and enjoy a nice sit-down with their pizza dinner at Star Pizza. Visit them online at starpizza.net or online at starpizzahou.
And I'm going to say this. The Cougs have been shut out back-to-back games for the first time since the Kim Helton era. That was some bad football then. What was that, 30 years, something like that? I mean, how long was it? It was awful. Back-to-back shutouts. Oh, my goodness. It's just I'm waiting for Andy to join us because I'm really curious to hear what Coach Fritz said post-game. Andy should be joining us momentarily from what stadium, Dayon?
Oh, Space City, baby. Space City Stadium. Now, that got a nice ring to it. Bryce, what do you think about how they ended the first half? 40 seconds left, 3 timeouts, and you come out and you take a knee.
That tells you everything. They have, and to be honest, this is the one of the criticism I have of Coach Fritz. You're sending a bad message. Yeah. It's 3-0, and you have 3 timeouts in 40 seconds. A lot can happen, and then college football, the clock stops when they change the first downs anyway. So it's even more than the NFL. And so when you telling your team, we're not going for this. We're fine being okay 3-0. And that sends a bad message. At some point, you have to say, you know what? Let's get it, man. Let's go after it. What do we have to lose? It's been 6 quarters since we scored a point. Let's go after this. Let's try to get some type of rhythm, and maybe it can lead into the second half. Let's get a completion or 2 or something. You take a knee. At that moment, I wanted to walk out. I mean, I understand you're 1-3. You haven't scored in 6 quarters, and you come out and take a quarterback. That is sending a bad message to the fans, to your team, everybody. And if I'm a leader of the team, that's something I know. Me and Case would have said, "Hey, Coach, can we meet with you Monday as a leadership group? Let's talk about this. Give us a chance. Let us fail. Give us a chance." But one thing we can't do is we can't go out there feeling, okay, you don't have no faith in us, because then you're going to lose the team. You have to go for it and try to get a couple of throws, some type of rhythm. You just can't take a quarterback knee. Run the ball. You never know if you hand it off the first and you get a first down, you move the chain, then you get the offense going. You have to do anything but take a quarterback knee, and that's frustrating.
Amen. There's nothing to say. And apparently, I just saw it. Coach Fritz, Mitchell Riley. I'm thinking this is from Coach Fritz post game that's streamed on YouTube. That he said players ran the wrong route. 3 players ran the wrong route. So that's a comment from Coach Fritz. That's an issue in it. You know, 5. This is the 5th game. Mistakes like that can't happen. And again, I go back to it. This team is not talented enough to overcome self-inflicted wounds. You know, they cannot overcome bad penalties. They cannot overcome fumbles. They cannot overcome not running the right route. They cannot overcome bad throws. bad decisions by the quarterback, not going through your progressions. This team can't do that, and this where we are. Andy's getting close and close to joining us from the stadium to hear comments from Coach Fritz. But yeah, if you missed it, Iowa State 20, Cougs zip. Cougs have been shut out back-to-back games, so it's now 8 quarters of no points for Houston for the first time since 1994. That is the Kim Helton era. That team went 1-10. This team I go 1-10.
And
I got a question for
to piggyback on the wrong route thing. That as a coach, either you're not repping it enough or you're not simplifying it. That is not on players. You can't go there and say we have 3 guys. You should rep it enough if you cut down some of the things you're doing in practice, some of the plays you're running, so you can be good at something. You can't try to run a bunch of different things and not be great at something. Find something you're really good at, rep it enough where they won't forget the plays. Rep it enough so they won't forget the plays. Simplify it enough so they can't forget the plays. That's not on the players. Now, I can't say no. When I deal with high school receivers and I coach receivers, I deal with high school receivers all the time. And yes, sometimes they have brain farts, they miss it. But by the time we get the game on Friday nights, we know we done rep that play 100 times during the week. So it's like second nature to them. So they won't mess it up. That tells me a lot when you got guys, you keep saying we got to write down on the wrist. They run the wrong play. Simplify it for them and rep. Rep. Stop making excuses. This is not an excuse. If that's the case, then find a guy who can simplify for these guys and make it easier, and they won't make this mistake. That's not you can't go in the press conference saying that. Just can't.
I'll make this worse.
Hold on, let me piggyback right on that, Chris.
Go ahead.
Question for Bryce, because I was just thinking about how Arkansas hired Bobby Petrino, who was a former head coach of the school. How would you feel if Houston reached out to your former to I think his name? I was just thinking about it while you was talking. That what's his name? The head coach who went and left to A&M.
Coach
Sumlin. Gets Coach Sumlin back to maybe to try to fix this offense.
Coach Sumlin's an offensive guru.
Yes.
He made his mark with the spread offense. I think with the resources we have now in the Big 12, I think Coach Fritz he's gonna need a home run hire like that as his coordinator. And I think being the Big 12, it's a long shot, but it's something I would look into. I mean, Coach Sumlin is dealing with some other issues he's dealing with, so I don't think he'll come back. But it needs to be an offensive hire like that with a guy that's used to being an explosive offenses and able to have our offense when we were there was simple. Like it was an air raid principle, air raid offense, but it was no such thing as running the wrong route because we repped our routes on air so much, we repped 707 so much where that it's all about leadership in that being. Maybe it's 5 games and he may end up being, but can somebody explain to me? Mississippi State wasn't great at offense last year,
right?
What made this hire him? Like, is it a you're my guy type of hire or
nope?
Where did he come from? Because it is starting. I'm starting to question that offensive coordinator pick because I went and researched it. I'm into the game like, what kind of offense? Then I'm looking through his history. Central Michigan didn't have no high power offense he was at. Like, how did this guy get hired here? And
I mean, as Mitchell Riley says, let's not forget Barbe wasn't Fritz's first pick. So, I mean, that is an issue. The offensive play calling is an issue, and let's say this. I'm gonna say it like this. This is not a very talented team. Okay, we've all said that, but Bryce is saying it. We've said it. The talent that this team does have, the coach and the play calling is not giving these guys a chance to do what they do best. whatever the hell it is. It's up to the OC, the head coach, to figure that out and put them in the best position to do what they do best. And that starts right there. That's coaching in a nutshell right there. To maximize what your guys do best and hide what they don't do well and give them a chance to show what they do well consistently.
That's what great offensive coaches do. They make sure they don't run things that their guys can't do well, and they make sure they put their guys in the best possible situations at all times. Now, there's going to be some plays that the defense they call the right play. Yes, absolutely. But at some point, I was thinking, why not get Snead the ball more? Like, why not keep putting this
right? That's what I was thinking.
Hands? Like, that doesn't. I mean, you don't have to be a coach to realize this guy is the only guy on the field making guys miss and moving the chain. So why not force feed him a little bit? That's not being a great coach. That's having common sense. That's
common sense. Yeah.
It's like sometimes it ain't about being the smartest guy in the room. It's not being the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And
is that part of like playing multiple running backs to see who has a hot hand? And when you find the hot hand, you feed them, you stay with them, and it was clear from the first carry all the way to the second half how he's seeing the holes, he's breaking tackles, like he was feeling it. Like if it's basketball, you can tell somebody is hot. He was hot tonight. Like he was hot. You could tell like he was feeling good. He breaking tackles, he's seeing it, cutbacks, this explosive plays. Like get him the ball. Like I was watching it like why is he down the field? Why is he like screens or whatever you got to do to get the ball in his hand?
I would have found so many ways. Those quick screens you run to receivers, hey, motion him out, let him get some of those, get some of those. Hey, put him in the slot, get him some. He had a feel for the game, so like he was feeling it. He had a good rhythm. He was making guys miss. He was being fast. Okay, coach, be creative. Get the guy the ball in space. Instead, we did the complete opposite. We was trying to run Donovan Smith on quarterback power runs. We was doing everything that we. It's like he's I'm trying to figure out what do we do good with it. You can't try to figure that out on Saturdays. It has to be figured out Monday through Friday. And it's like we're trying to figure it out on Saturdays. And I like I said, like I keep saying, y'all, I'm trying not to be a fan and be one of those fans where, hey, get rid of the guy. No, it's not that. But I'm also trying to find a reason to see, okay, I see what he's trying to do here. I see what he's setting up here. I can't. This is the first time I left the game like I'm thinking this guy has no idea what he's doing. And I don't, like I said, I don't never want to call for anybody's job because I don't want nobody doing that to me. But if I'm going to be, and I'm going to always be upfront with you and straight with you, if I'm going to be honest with you, that guy, it seemed like he has no idea how to set up anything. And he's not, his play calling right now is suspect. And that's being nice. It's being nice saying that.
Coogs 1 for 10 on third down. Iowa State 9 for 17 on third down. Coogs had, I mean, just the numbers that just make you cry. I mean, 70 yards passing, more yards and penalties than passing. Oh my goodness. Deion Chris 1 for 4 passing, 1 passing yard, 7 carries for 29 rushing yards. Donovan Smith 8 for 12. Passing for 71 yards, 1 bad interception, 7 carries for 47 yards.
Ronald Brown, can we win 2 Big 12 games? Absolutely not. Did you hear them stats he just said? 70 yards. We had more penalty yards than passing yards. Has that ever happened before?
I don't know.
I mean, somebody's probably done it, but man.
I'm talking about at U of H.
Probably. Well, I'll say this. Let's go back to the Kim Hilton era. I wouldn't doubt it going back that far.
That is
years.
Bad. That
only bright spot. You got a player who had 10 carries, 79 yards, and he only touched the ball 10 times.
10 times.
Like, come on. Like, man.
No, if I'm a reporter, I'm asking Coach Fritz at his press conference, why is it Snead only had 10 carries? And maybe that would put pressure on him to talk to his OC. Hey, why is this guy only have 10 carries? Somebody's got to. I understand we're not expecting to compete for the Big 12. That is fine. But what you don't want to do is it keeps sending a bad message to you. You want to complain about why fans are not coming out, even from next year. you got to put a better product than what you're putting out on the field right now.
Yeah, agreed. And be aggressive. They're going to lose. Okay?
Yeah,
but be aggressive. Be aggressive. Show some direction. Show some confidence in your players. That's a key right there, because the play calling seems like he doesn't believe in his players. And if he doesn't believe in his players, then why should we? So that's the biggest disappointment. Because like I said it from the jump since Bryce joined us this season. I did not expect a lot of wins this season, but I expected improvement week to week. In these last 2 weeks, I haven't seen it. And the offense is just getting worse. And 8 straight quarters of no points. As Andy Yanez checks his hair and, checks his locks and stuff, as Kelvin Sampson says, I think he's ready now. You ready now, Andy?
And my locks are cropped for this episode of Let's Reach Coogs, so Kelvin's watching, probably screaming through the screen. But how are you doing, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Let's Reach Coogs, following a back-to-back shutouts. Today I found out that Houston played Ohio State, and one of the last time they did was 1994, when the last time they got shut out in back-to-back games. So,
30 years.
Yep. Trivia for you. Post-game presser, you could tell it's starting to wear on players, starting to wear on Willie Fritz, which, I mean, no one likes to lose. But to lose in the manner that they've done the past couple of weeks, and quite frankly, for most of the season, where it hasn't looked pretty on offense, you can tell the frustration is building. And I mean, we'll hear from the clips, but when it comes to Willie Fritz in particular, you can really tell the frustration from his words, from his comments, even honestly from his reaction, from his facial expressions. It's a head scratcher. They're trying to figure out what is causing the problems on offense, and they're frustrated because it seems like they've been focusing like the penalties. Something that we've touched on in previous shows has been a primary concern for Houston, because that's something where it doesn't matter about talent. You can control, their disciplined penalties, and it continues to be an issue week in and week out. You could tell that Willie Fritz was frustrated about that. He said they can't emphasize it more. They emphasize it every week in practice. And then even with the play calling, I listened whenever I was uploading the videos. You guys mentioned one of the comments that Willie Fritz said about they have the play calls on the wrist. All the players have the play calls on their wrist. And he said that there something is not translating whether it's just confusion, whether it's not executing, but clearly the offense is not on the same page, and that's causing the abysmal performance that we've seen offensively over the course of the first 5 games of the season now.
Andy, was Coach Fritz asked about Man-Jack?
He was not.
And
no question about Man-Jack.
So this would have been game 5. So he played in 4 games, right? So he could still, if he decided to go into the port, he could do that, right?
Yes.
But from our perspective, if that's what he decided to do, good on him. He's not going to be part of the turnaround for this program going forward. I mean, fans asking him about Man-Jack. If he leaves, he leaves. I mean, I don't begrudge anybody wanting to go somewhere else right now, because right now,
it's ugly.
Offense it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So if and I don't know that that's what he's going to do. I don't know that, but if he has, okay, I'm still a Cougar alum. That's not going to change whether he goes or not. So, okay, next. This is business now, Bryce. You said that to us many times in these shows. This is business. Guys are protecting their brand, doing what they have to do. This is the era of that in college football. Well, semi-pro football now. So, hey.
For what it's worth, he was on the sidelines. He was talking to a few fans before the game. So, still part of the team, whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't left and gone on Instagram or Twitter and said, anything about they haven't met my needs.
Yeah. Get started with the whole UNLV situation.
Andy, you ready to play these clips?
Yeah, let's get into them. Let's play the Willie Fritz clip in particular, like he touches on a lot of things, penalties, quarterbacks. It's clear that the quote that stood out, and we're going to hear in a second, but it seems like they are just, again, the frustration is building, and he phrased it as in, listen, he was asked, like, is it hard for the offense having constant quarterback shuffle? And Fritz ended it by saying that at the end of the day, we're trying to find someone to step up and take the reins. And right now, neither Donovan Smith or Zion Chris have been able to do that. He was asked if potentially it could be open to a third person, alluding to Hui Ali, and he gave a coach answer. He said, I haven't watched the film yet. We'll get to it later in the week, but clearly they're trying to find something. And let's go ahead and hear what Fritz had to say.
The offensive struggles, what do you think the biggest factors are that were there?
You know, we did a good job moving the ball between the 20s. You know, just, you know, we had, you know, sometimes when you get in that area of the scoring zone where you have an opportunity to score touchdowns, you just got to connect. We had a wide open guy in the end zone one time. We you know, just went out on downs one time, had a fumble. You know, just, you know, you got to play really sharp and crisp, and we didn't do that. We didn't play. I would play really hard. You know, it's number 18 team in the country, and I thought we played hard. Didn't play real smart the whole game. That's what we got to really, really improve on. And you know, we're not good enough to, you know, have untimely penalties or miss a guy, block wise, and get a sack and get minus plays. And hard to overcome for us right now. So we just got to play a lot smarter.
Well, when you go through a stretch like this, does it start to weigh on the team in terms of, are they pressing? Do you feel like, you know, you get that?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. You know, I think it weighs on everybody. You know, this is a tough, real tough stretch for me. I know that. You know, but we're going to get it going. We want to work on it every single week. And, you know, I got to see the end game and not understand that, you know, sometimes progress takes a little bit, you know, and I just think we can play better than what we're playing. I just, you know, got to do a better job. I feel like I do a great job of coaching these things in practice, in meetings. I think my coaches do a good job of coaching it. We just got to go out in the field and do it and execute it. And stay away from, you know, foolish penalties and you know, the turnovers that we've had. I thought our defense played exceptionally well. I thought they got wore down, you know, in the second half, and you know, that led to, you know, 20 points. But you know, I thought for the most part they played really well.
Willie, when you're rotating two quarterbacks, do you feel like that you're mixing up some of maybe the concepts or something that you're working with Donovan and working with?
Well, so one guy, you know, you try to call plays for the guy, so you don't call identical plays. You know, you rotate guys, you know, throughout the team, offense, defense, kicking game, you know, and you know, you certainly can do it at quarterback too. Hey, we're looking for a guy to step up and be the guy. You know, so we're giving two guys opportunity. One guy shows it, he's going to be the guy. You know, and until that happens, we're probably going to keep rolling. You know, because they're both close, and both of them do some good things, and both made some mistakes. You know, and we're just looking for someone to be that guy. You know, so we're still looking right now.
Willie, is there an opportunity that there's a third guy? Could you go deeper in?
I don't know. I just got done. You know, I'm gonna have to do a lot of searching and looking here tomorrow.
Going back on the penalties, some on special teams and wiping out big plays. Yep. You know, that's stuff that you stress in practice. I mean, is it just aggressiveness? Is it just overthinking? I don't know. I just, you know, we need to be smart with who we're playing right now. You know, I mean, we can't go over it any more than we have. You know, and it takes a little while to establish a culture, and part of that culture is playing penalty free. You know, we're just not doing it right now, and it's I don't know how much more I can emphasize it. some stuff off the table or off the plate and maybe gone a little simpler, or is it where are you with that and just the play?
Well, we need to look at it. But, one of the things we do is wristbands, and we got numbers on the wristband, and that tells you exactly what to do. And sometimes we don't do what it says on the wristband, so that's not good. We need to execute exactly what it says on there because it's by position. So we got to do a much better job of that, and doing your assignment, doing your 111. That's if we need to simplify it even more than that.
Two more.
Once again, that was Houston Cougars head coach Willie Fritz again right there. You can see the frustration. You can hear it in his words. You can see it in his facial expressions. They're trying to find answers to these offensive struggles, and whatever they've tried so far isn't working, and that's just continue to build and build and build that frustration.
Andy, if you don't mind, what did Stacey Sneaks say? 'Cause I see you have him in here as well. Can we play that too?
Yeah, let's play it.
All right.
It seemed like you guys were able to get off, some good runs early. What do you think it was that stopped you from being able to complete those drives and get points?
Just having unnecessary penalties. That's it.
Next question. Let's go to Joseph here.
Stacey, 2 weeks in a row struggles with scoring. In there in the locker room or in the huddle, I mean, what's the, I won't say the feeling, but I mean, how do you guys get out of this rut that you're in?
Just staying together and coming together and making a change. Everybody gotta, just making a change really.
As someone who's been here for several years, Willie was just saying that they've simplified some parts of the offense and the playbook. Do you guys feel like there's trouble executing what's being run, or do you feel like it's just maybe not translating from practice to the game?
Player wise, yes. Coaching wise, I think it's a good call. We just gotta execute the plays.
Stacey, what's the point of view from an offensive player on dealing with the quarterback rotation? Like, when are you aware every possession who's going to be quarterback, or do you feel like the game's called differently between the two?
I just go out there and play. Whoever in there.
A couple more. Kris.
Stacey, you've been playing football for a long time. How frustrating is it to be in a stretch like this?
Say it again?
You've been playing, football for a long time. How frustrating is it to be in a stretch like this where you just can't seem to score?
It's very frustrating. As an offensive player, we just gotta keep our confidence though.
Stacey, one thing Coach just mentioned is obviously it seems like we just touched on there's some confusion. Or something's not translating just in terms of the play calls that they're calling to the execution on the field. Do you feel like it's confusion? It's just not a matter of executing, or what do you think it's?
Just not executing.
So that was Stacey Sneed. He kept a lot of his answers short. To his credit, he didn't throw any of his coaches under the bus. He said that it's players and executing. But it's just a team they're trying to find answers, and quite frankly, they don't know them, and that's the biggest frustrating part for them. And again, you can really tell it just in their facial expressions and their answers.
Bryce and Dayon, what are your thoughts?
Hey, other news right now. Alabama and Georgia football game is so crazy. Alabama took the lead.
Is Georgia ahead now?
Georgia took the lead. Alabama just scored on the first drive. Right after that, now Georgia got the ball back down 7 with 2 minutes left. Oh my goodness! I've never seen a game like this in a long time.
It was 30-7 at halftime. Alabama.
Yes, now it's 41-34, 2:18 left. Georgia's getting the ball back.
I think Alabama has more yards this game than U of H the last two combined.
Well, both teams got more points.
The whole season.
The whole season, man. You see a big plays over there, it just makes it even worse.
But what are your thoughts on Bryce saying it's on the players and it's simple? They're not executing. I mean, I don't know what to think about that.
He's supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to say that because at the end of the day, he no matter what, he's not gonna make any decisions of the play calling or personnel decision, anything like that. So he's got to say that. But it's just not true. It's not real. The hard truth is the play call has been anemic. It has no rhyme or reason to it, and I think as the whole offense staff, I'm not gonna go back and see the whole offense staff has no idea right now what we're trying to do, and it's gonna take some really getting used to each other, looking each other in the face, and deciding, okay, this is how we're gonna have to play. And as a offense staff, O-line coach, receiver coach, running back coach, tight end coach, all of them have to come together and figure a way to put points. Because 8 quarters without any points is just it just can't happen. And Coach Fritz got to take responsibility, like we stated earlier in the show. Taking a knee with 40 seconds left, down 3 before the half, you got to instill some confidence in your offensive unit. And I'm Coach Fritz, the first 4th down chance I get, we're going for it. And if it's manageable, just to show, okay, I believe in you guys. And if you don't get it, okay, oh well. But I'm going to instill some type of confidence in you. We're gonna come out. We're gonna go for it. We're not gonna play conservative. Yes, our defense is playing great, but let's show our defense we're trying to go for it. We're gonna run to it. So the first thing I'm doing next game is doing that. And like a couple of times, I'm sitting there thinking we had in the plus territory 37, and it's like we had no plan to play for 2 downs and win the plus territory. Like we don't have a plan. Like let's get 3 or 4 here to make it 4th and manageable. It's like we just playing football. Like I said, we're not complementing each other well, and that's something that they really have to look at and say, what do we have to change to change our mindset during live situations? And that is a staff thing, not just on board. That's a staff thing. Sometimes iron sharpens iron. You have to like, hey, we got to fix it this way.
I'm gonna, I guess, pour some salt in the wounds. Coogs' only win this season was over Rice. Rice lost to Charlotte tonight. Okay, it's 21-20. Rice was leading when we started the show by 6, and Charlotte scored a touchdown, and then apparently Rice missed a field goal in the final seconds. So the Cougs' only win is over another 1-14 in the Rice Owls, who also have their own struggles. But it's bad right now. UH football is bad. The play calling is worse. The lack of confidence in the players. Now, that's what it seems like to me. The conservative play calling is concerning.
And that call at the end of half, or right before it, at the end of the first half, it's a microcosm of, Chris, like you said, it just seems like the coaching staff doesn't have a confidence in the offensive players. And just look at it with, honestly, even look at what they're doing with Donovan Smith and Deion Chris. Like, Deion Chris has attempted he's got a lot of reps. I think he's attempted a total of, it can't be more than 12 passes.
11 or 12 passes, yeah.
Yeah, and look at tonight. Like, he had multiple series, and he only threw the ball 4 times. That clearly shows they don't have confidence in him to throw the ball. And you can't establish an identity by that, in my opinion. Like, you're just not giving either of the quarterbacks, or any quarterback, if they do decide to give Uli Ali a chance, an opportunity to get rhythm. And it goes back to Bryce's point that he's been harping on since we started doing this show at the beginning of the season. This Cougars offense has no idea what its identity is, and quite frankly, there's no way for them to be able to build an identity like that, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm not sure about this, but Big Jack is asking about it. He's asking at the end of the first half, Coach Fritz was trying to call a timeout and looked frustrated that time was running out. So he's wondering if that was.
I saw that after the first knee, but that was after he took the knee.
Yeah.
Okay, see, there you go.
I didn't see that.
Because my answer was going to be, well, he still had 3 timeouts. He had 3 more chances to call it. If you want to stop the clock,
he took the knee.
Yeah.
I seen it on the TV screen, but that was after he took the knee.
And I mean, I said, like, you got to call at least some, like, even if you're going to be conservative, at least call a draw,
a screen, a quick something.
Because who knows? It pops up, it gets 10 yards, you get a first down, and maybe you can get momentum and shoot, at least get a
who
field
knows?
goal.
You got a running back who's averaging damn near 8 yards a carry. Maybe he pops one.
But to not even give him an opportunity like that sucked the air out of TDCU Stadium. And it quite frankly, it led to chorus of boos as the team was running out into the tunnel at halftime.
Well, native Houstonian says he heard that Manjak's shoulder was an issue. So if that's the case, then it's not a deal with him leaving, going in the portal. We'll see. I'm at this point now. I'm so cynical with it. Players do what they're going to do. You know, I mean, if he stays, he stays for anybody. I'm not going to hate on you one way or the other. You stay, you go, whatever. You know.
Times have changed, and to be honest, I'm all for the players. This is long overdue. Do what's best for you, because I promise you, these coaches are going to do what's best for them. Coach Sumlin, luckily, I had him all 4 years, but he left because Texas A&M was his dream job. He chased the other better opportunities. So I'm always going to be big on doing what's best for you. And if Manjak decided he doesn't want to come back and he's like, man, this is not looking good at all, and I can't produce in the offense this anemic, then maybe what's best for Manjak is moving on. And I hate to say that as a Cool fan, but I know if that was my son or somebody, I was advising him, what if the offense showed me that it's going to help my guy get his chance to possibly play at the next level? That nothing that this scheme has showed me that it's a wide receiver friendly scheme. It's not a quarterback friendly scheme. It's not anything scheme, to be honest. So I wouldn't be mad at all if he decided, you know what, the best thing for me is to relax, let this unfold a little bit, and maybe hit the transfer portal. And I hate to say that as a Coug, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for you. And because Coach Fritz is going to do what's best for them this offseason as well.
Right, you know, and the coach, Coach Fritz is going to have talks with the players, with some recruits that he signs, and tell some of these current players, we don't have a spot for you here, and it's probably best you go somewhere else. So that talk.
No.
You know,
the story I know is true. I had a former player, who's at SFA now, who they put him in his office and said, I think it's best if you get in the transfer portal. They told him that it was a business decision. So now it kind of made me upset because he was a redshirt guy and he hasn't even had a chance to really get into anybody's system. And you basically tell him, get in the portal. We want you to get in the portal because you're trying to bring more of your guys in. So that's why if Manjak decided, I can't be mad because that's what around college football, that's what they're doing now. They're forcing guys to get in the portal. And I know they're doing it at U of H. Spoke to a lot of guys who was told at U of H, get in the portal. So no, I'm never going to fault that because U of H is going to do what's best for U of H, and which I want the best for them. So I think players should definitely do what's best for them.
Yeah. So T.I., we're not saying Manjak has decided to go into the portal. A viewer said that they heard Manjak's shoulders bothering him. Okay, if it is, or if it's bothering him, and he decided to rest for the rest of the season. Whatever, that's on him. We're not going to make a big deal out of either way. He's here, he's not. The offense, and talking about Uwe Ale and the chance he can pass the ball, we think, but if the play calling won't allow him to pass the ball, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I said last week when everybody was bashing Donovan and everything last week.
And Mitchell,
is a runner, not a passer.
Yeah, they say, to be fair, we have zero clue. They know. They see it in practice. They know if he can throw or not. It's a reason why the play caller, if he could throw it and fling it, they will fling it with him. They see it every day in practice. they understand that when he's in the game, this is what we have to do. So that's what goes back to my point earlier in the show. If you feel like you want to do quarterback runs to get numbers, you want to do power, put them in there then, if that's your identity. But you got to find something you want to do.
Yeah. I'm not big on a different quarterback every series.
No.
You know, barring injuries, 2 quarterback systems rarely work. Okay, you may have 2 good ones, but you don't have one great one. The Cougs don't have 2 good ones. But the issue with them is, based on the play calling, the quarterback is not allowed to maximize what they do best, whatever the hell that is. So we're asking now, Dan brought it up last week, Bryce as well, what is the identity of this offense? We have no idea. And 5 games in, that's a problem. Is it overtime yet, Dayon? Is it 41-41? Georgia tied up?
It's a minute. It's a minute left. They're driving, 2nd and 8. They're driving.
But the Cougs are at TCU this Friday.
Ooh, go against
Game's going to be on ESPN. Well, at least it'll be a road game and be fun of a packed stadium.
Well, but Chris, they're going against a familiar staff member from TCU staff.
Coach Ogerson.
So, yeah, whatever.
They were saying, obviously, Coach Ogerson's role is very niche, but if he had anything to do with planning of Houston's scheme, they were making a joke earlier. And it's going to be the easiest week that he has, just based on what Houston's been able to put on film so far this season. But
nothing. I mean, I wonder, TCU defense. Yeah, guys, we were scouting that Cougs offense, and it's very vanilla. You know, they don't know what they're doing. We just stick to our assignments and tackle. We'll be fine. Okay, coach. So I say that laughing, but TCU might have to watch themselves and not get overconfident, because they're like, this team, the players, from a player perspective, not the coaches, because the coach is going to say over and over again, hey, you got to respect your opponent and all that kind of stuff. But the players might be like, this team ain't scored in 2 weeks, man. They're not going to do nothing against us, man. You know, but so maybe
haven't scored in 2 weeks, and then against Oklahoma, we have 13 points.
12,
and then against
UNLV 7. 7. They barely avoided the shutout in the last round.
So this is bad. This is bad.
So I was cheering. Alabama won.
Alabama won. Just picked them off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard cheering. Someone was watching that game. Yeah, isn't that crazy? They played 5 games, and 3 out of those 5, they got shut out in 2, and they came really close to getting shut out in the first game of the season. That's just.
This is the worst offense I've seen in over a decade, and and I don't think it's close.
There it is. Garbage ass offense. There it is. There's not much more to add. Really. We can play the last clip, Anthony, if you want us to hear from Anthony Holmes.
Yeah, before we play the clip, so it was interesting to get the defense perspective. But again, top to bottom, it's got to be frustrating for them as defenders. Going out there, they held Iowa State to just 3 points. It was 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they got into late in the third quarter where it was still 3-0, and towards the end, they just, the old adage, bend. Eventually, the defense tried to show cracks, and it broke. Before we do play the clip real quickly, I'd like to thank everybody that's taking their time out of their Saturday night to join us here on Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. Big thank you to Mr. Steve Saxenian for being the primary sponsor of today's episode, and each and every single Let's Rage Coogs episode this 2024-25 athletic season for both football and men's basketball. Of course, we also like to say thank you to our other sponsors, beginning with Star Pizza. Star Pizza is Houston's destination for hot pizza delivery since 1976, and they are also your go-to spot before or after the game. Eater Houston says it's one of the top-rated pizza spots in all of the city of Houston, and October is National Pizza Month, so you know they're going to have deals all month long. Be sure to stop by any of their 3 locations across the Houston area and visit them online at starpizza.net or follow them on social media at StarPizzaHOU. We also like to say thank you to BB's for being a sponsor, for being another sponsor on this episode. You can see the banner on their screen. You can follow them on social media at BB's Texas Orders. They are also the sponsor for the ticker that you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen on our video platforms. And they remind you to pick 3 on their triple play at a BB's near you. And you can also visit them online at bbstexordnance.com/locations to see which one is closest near you. And last but not least, also a big thank you to the Coogs and Tailgate for being a sponsor on today's episode as well. The Coogs and Tailgate is located on Blue Lot 16D on game days, and they welcome everyone to come enjoy their food, drinks, and music ahead of their games. The one thing you can guarantee is that it doesn't matter what the season is, what the record is, they're going to be out there partying. They found out today they've been doing it for 14 years, so they've seen a lot of Houston Cougars football over the course of that span. So be sure to check them out next time you're at TDCU Stadium, or soon to be called Space City Stadium, and enjoy the tailgate with Coogston. And with that being said, Chris, let's go ahead and watch the final clip of the night.
Basically, the way you guys were able to hold them, and it was just a matter of down the stretch, just getting worn down.
It just was playing the defense that we know how to play. We practice all week doing it, so we was just out there playing what the coaches taught us and the techniques they taught us. Just did a great job with that.
A lot of your teammates said that coming off of the Cincinnati game, they felt like maybe it was a step back. Was this important to kind of come out and show that maybe that game wasn't like, some of the other games?
Yes, sir. That was very important, just to, bounce back from a loss like that and show that we are better than what we showed, and just having a new week and going 1-0 every day. So not worry about the past and playing that game.
Next question.
How do you prevent the offensive struggles from affecting you guys defensively, and what kind of mindset do you sort of have to take when you're going through that as a team?
Just what you said, we're a team, so when they're struggling, we're struggling. So just having their backs, when they're struggling, we just go out there and know that we got to get stops, give them another chance. That's really it.
A few more questions.
Anthony, what's the mood like just going through this stretch, with the locker room? Is it at a point where you look to the veterans or the captains to sort of come up and say something? Does anything need to be said at this point?
You mean the mood like after the game?
Well, no, just in general right now with the way the season started.
The mood is just to keep going, come closer as a family and keep going, because we're gonna go through hard times and it don't matter. Hard times make tough people, and we just need to keep going, come closer as a team, keep working.
Willie has said that things take time. You change a culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like that part of it. Guys are buying in. They want better results. It's not a matter of I won't say laziness, but just you feel like the effort's there and the mindsets as well.
Yeah, we just have to hone in on the small details, because so we playing against good opponents, so any of the small mistakes is gonna cost us. So just in that aspect, we just gotta, we have a good effort. We just need to hone in on details and play smart.
And what was coach's message to you guys after this one? And what was the message in the locker room?
It really was just what I just said, that we need to play smart and that we can't have mistakes like that against a top team like that and expect to win. So he said that we play hard, but we just need to play smart and make the right decision, be in the right spot, all that type of stuff, to be high caliber teams in the Big 12.
What do you think it's going to take to flip that switch to where you guys are able to play hard but also play smart? Is that just more time in the system, or what do you think it is?
I really just think it's gonna come from like watching film and, you know what I'm saying, focusing on yourself, doing your job to your best ability and not trying to do too much or, you know what I'm saying, anything like that, and just play together as a team and play for the team, not just for yourself. So that type of stuff helped me not make mistakes and all that.
That was Anthony Holmes Jr. on the clip. Defense has done its job. It's, I mean, unless if they start pick-sixing all the different quarterbacks and start scoring themselves, there's not much more they can do.
They might have to.
Which, I mean, I'd imagine.
Strip
Like,
sacks, fumbles, recovery, pickups, a touchdown, something.
Yeah, I mean, and it's human nature, right? You could be the nicest person in the world, but if you're doing a group project or anything, right, and you feel like you're doing more than your fair share, and other group or other persons aren't necessarily doing what they're supposed to, and like I said, you could be the nicest person in the world, but it's gonna wear and tear on you over time. And I mean, right now it's just that offense is trying to find answers, and it's really putting the defense in tough spots. I mean, going back to tonight, they held Iowa State, a good Iowa State team, to 3 points for 2.5 quarters. And it's probably 2.75 quarters. And then at the end of that third quarter into the fourth quarter, they just let go of the rope. But I mean, to hold them to 3 points for that long, there's not much more they could have done themselves. And the offense just has to start producing something. Like, in theory, holding Iowa State to just 20 points for an average team. If they've just had an average offense, that would be pretty good. But they have a below average offense, and at this point, they're not even putting anything on the scoreboard, and it's just got to be frustrating.
Andy, I'm going to ask you, when it was 13-0 and the Cougs were marching and had a chance, if they'd have scored a touchdown, did you think, damn, as crappy as they played, if they score a touchdown, they're still in this game? Did you think that before the interception?
Well, I think they answered the question for me at TDECU Stadium, telling me that it was lights out no matter what, because they just turned off the light. No, in all seriousness, I think that there was around 7 minutes left in the game, and they were driving. They were inching closer to the red zone. And I thought they scored, considering how well the defense had played, I think they could have stopped them and given Houston at least one more chance, right? It would have only been down by 6. And then when the play happened, we were up obviously in the press box, and I could see Malik Carr was wide open, and he wasn't just wide open, he was wide open for seconds. Yep. Like, Donovan Smith could have literally seen him last second and thrown a ball that was up in the air for 3 seconds, and he would have still caught it. He was that wide open.
Yep. And
he just did not see him whatsoever. And Malik, you really could see the frustration in Malik Carr, because the whole play, his hands are up, he's clapping, he's trying to do whatever he can to get Donovan Smith's attention. Donovan never saw him. He threw it to Stacey Sneed. He underthrew the fade route, and it just didn't. It ended up being an interception, and that just deflated the what was left of the people who was here at TDECU Stadium, and any hope that you had in the back of your mind just completely went away with that. And you could tell from the body line, which you could tell from Malik Carr after that. He was so wide open. Ended up not only that they not score a touchdown, it turned it over on that very exact same play. And you could tell he was frustrated, put his head down, was clapping. But yeah, in the back of my mind, had they scored, I feel like the defense played they were more than capable. They showed that they were able to stop Iowa State, and I think they would have, at minimum, given Houston one more chance. But that pick just sucked the air out of the stadium.
Yep. And for everybody asking, thank you for watching, sticking with us through this show, this Let's Rage Cougs show. Basketball season starts. The first game, the scrimmage, will be against the Aggies on October 27th. So that game is for charity. raising some money for hurricane relief. So that's the game. If you haven't bought the tickets yet, get those. And then the week after is when the Coogs hoops starts for real on November
October
4th.
27th.
October
That'll be a
27th.
Sunday, right?
Yes, sir. 4:00. Texans play at noon, and the Cougs and Aggies play at 4. So there you go. Hoops is not far around the corner. We can't hear you, man. What's I don't. Leon?
Maybe his mic. He's not muted.
Yeah.
Nope, we can't hear you. Mike probably got disconnected.
How about you, Bryce? You still with it?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
yeah, we can hear you.
What'd you ask? I'm sorry.
No, just I talked a note about basketball season being around the corner. Try to get some folks, some Coug fans, some hope. That's all.
Yes, I'm looking forward. We're gonna win a national championship this year, so that's something to be excited about. I love our team we got, man. I don't want to. I mean, we need something to be happy about tonight. So, yes, it's going to be October. That means basketball is getting closer. That means we get a chance to see Coach Sampson, and we get some intensity and some purpose and some meaning on Scott Street and man, Cullen Boulevard. I'm excited for that. So, I mean, I'm still gonna be a fan. I'm still gonna watch every game.
Sure.
Still go to the games and hope for change. But yeah, we all looking for basketball season. Then we can get our lick back on social media. We can start talking noise again. Iowa State, especially the rivalry we had with them last year in basketball. Hey, we'll see. Even though they did beat us in Big 12 championship, but we'll get our lick back.
See, Bryce got some hoop knowledge too, man. So as a guest on during the hoop season as well.
When we make that first run in Indianapolis, I travel. I go to all the basketball games. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm really. I mean, I was there them days when they were giving us tickets to come to the game, getting us food, asking the football team to bring people with them to the games. Because the Aubrey Coleman days when we had a great score, but we were not very good. So I'm gonna always be a fan of all sports and things.
And I'll go ahead and say this. Rex brought it up. I was gonna say it, but sometimes we need to do better about pumping up our own selves. Yep, I was the first person to break the news about the Cougs Aggies exhibition game. Yes, I did do that. That is correct. Thank you very much, Rex. Appreciate that.
2 weeks before the national, guys, I might add.
Yep. And it might be televised too, but I don't want people to just sit at home rather than get a ticket and go to the game. So,
yeah.
So come to the game, 4:00. And if you got it like that, you can go from Texans home game at the stadium and come on over to UH for 4:00. Then do that too. All right, let's wrap it up because I don't want. Let's end on a high. Talk about hoops and a positive. Bryce said Coach Sampson and the squad going to win the national championship this year. So let's end it right there. And Friday,
we'll be celebrating the championship on Cullen Boulevard this year. We'll be celebrating the championship, people. So don't let this horrific offensive show ruin your school spirit. Better days are coming for us. Basketball season around. We'll be talking noise again. I'll be on social media talking noise again about how my team is number one and yours is not. So stay positive.
My question for everybody, since the football game is this Friday, Bryce, are you going to be able to make it?
Mm-hmm.
Join us?
Yeah, we play Thursday. So
okay.
Yeah, our game this week is Thursday. We have a big one against the Bridgeland Bears.
I was going to ask, how's your team doing?
We're 4-0. We ranked the top 25 in the state. We improved. We went from being one of the worst teams in Houston to now we're one of the best teams in Houston. And got a big game this week against the Bridgeland Bears. They're a very good team. And I don't know how many people follow high school football, but if you get a chance, come out to the Bear Center, come out and watch. And if you see me, man, say hey. And And let's get it. But yes, I'll be out Friday. I'll be out there. I'll be here on the show. I'll be watching the game. I got a couple of former players that play for TCU, so I'm definitely gonna be tuned in.
And I was thinking this. ESPN bless their hearts, man. That UA's TCU game, they can't flex out of it. I don't believe so. ESPN is stuck with the Cougs gonna be on national TV against TCU this Friday at 6:30. Oh well.
Bold prediction. We will score more than 10 points Friday.
Is that a guarantee?
Yes. I saw SMU run the score up against this team. We can at least get 10 points.
Is that a guarantee?
Guarantee. 10 points. We'll find it.
All right. There we go. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the man himself.
Somebody said that's bold. That's not all we come to. This is what it comes to. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's how far we falling. I take 3, man. A field goal.
I bet at this point take a safety. A safety. Just get the goose egg off the board.
Oh man. Bryce, man, thank you again for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
As
Andy,
always,
wrap it up, man.
Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, real quickly, I'd like to thank once again all our sponsors for this episode of Let's Reach Coogs, beginning with the Saxenian family and Mr. Saxenian himself for being the primary sponsor. Big thank you to BB's, to Star Pizza, and to the Coogs and Tailgate for being secondary sponsors on today's episode as well. And we couldn't be able to do this show either without each and every single person that took the time out of their Saturday night, or maybe if you're watching the day after, whenever you may be watching audio-only platforms. Thank you to you guys as well, because of all the support for helping us grow. We haven't posted this online, but each and every single one of our post-game shows, when combined, when it comes to, our X channel here on YouTube, on your YouTube channel as well, Chris, and our audio-only platforms, each and every single episode has done over 1,000 listen views combined. So that's another metric where consistency we're getting up there. So thank you to every single person that takes the time out of the day and engages with us, whether they agree with us or not. We couldn't do this without y'all.
And thank you again to the fans. 5 games in the football. We got 7 more to go, right? Is that right? 7?
Yep.
7 more to go. So we'll have 7 more post-game shows for the football. So don't leave us. If anything, stick with us and stick with the LRC family, and we'll talk football and get you ready for basketball season, as Bryce is ready for basketball season already. But I'm tied it all together. I know for a fact that a top recruit, Kingston Flemings, is on his official visit with the basketball team this weekend. And I am thankful to say he was not at the football game. So he did not see any of that.
And there's a chance.
So yes, there's a chance that another top, Kingston like top 20 in the country, commits to the Cougs. So like I said, men's basketball, that's our shining light. So let's stick with that. Follow me on the platforms, the Houston Roundbar Review on Instagram and YouTube and Threads, and Spoutable, etc. And as always, been around a long time, since ironically 1994, the last time the Cougars shut out back-to-back games. The Houston Roundbar Review, local name, global perspective.
Man, we appreciate everyone that's tapping in with us tonight. I know it's kind of late. You could be doing anything on your Saturday night, but you tapped in with us. So 7 more games left. The platform to rage. Come back and rage with us. Let's continue. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to rage about as the season goes on, as we prepare ourselves for basketball. I'm ready for basketball. I'm excited. We are going to win the Natty this year. I'm excited. I can't wait. But win or loss, it's always go Cougs. Either way it go. Go Cougs, baby.